with all this talk in regards to Spider-Man 4 and what might be happening with the character going forward, I've talked a lot about the rumors, what's been reported, and what everybody on every side has said. Now, many of you have asked for my opinion. What do I think they should do with Spider-Man 4 and my theories? So let's talk about what we know and what might happen. So as of right now, we know very little in regards to Spider-Man 4. As a matter of fact, we probably know the least about where the next story takes us than we ever have before. Again, we knew more about where Spider-Man would end up when it was first announced that the deal was happening than we do now. So this is a very strange time because of all the circumstances of Spider-Man No Way Home. So what exactly will Spider-Man 4 be about? Well, every theory out there is viable, I would say. From the most obvious ones of Kraven the Hunter, which many people are saying, to another multiverse mashup, anything is really possible because literally they can do whatever they want. Now, me personally, the more I think about it, the more I think you have to scale back the scope and story in relation to Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, in this. Again, everybody has forgotten Peter Parker, but Spider-Man has always been there, meaning that he's still on the radar of many of these people, including the villains, which to me is how you tackle the story going forward. For me personally, I don't go big, I don't go bombastic, I go back to basics. It's a basic Spider-Man story. 1 or 2 villains. You have Tom Holland's Peter Parker, and he needs a job to pay rent. Well, guess what? The Daily Bugle happens to be an even bigger outlet now. More and more people are jumping on it. People want some jobs. They want anything they can get. Jameson is still after Peter. So he gets a job thanks to Betty Brant. He's now working for the Daily Bugle. He's doing more of the viral videos, trying to, instead of taking photos, he's trying to get clips and such of Spider-Man. Again, this can lead us to a villain that gets introduced, like the Scorpion, for example, who's hired by J. Jonah Jameson, or maybe somebody like Kraven, who appears in this. Again, Kraven's been rumored, but we don't know what the future holds for that character because of Sony. And then I would slowly start building out the bigger, more street-centric world. You can bring in Matt Murdock Daredevil, because Peter knows he can trust them because, well, previously, that previous life, he remembers that Matt was there. It didn't matter what was going on. He believed he was innocent. So he can probably confine in him who he is and tell him he's Daredevil, which obviously can bring us to the Kingpin. I think the Kingpin would be an obvious choice. The ultimate goal, in my opinion, would be to introduce Eddie Brock, whether it's a variant that's played by Tom Hardy or a brand new version, or have the actor playing Flash Thompson get a little, buffed up and have him join the military and take that route. But you eventually got to get the symbiote on either Eddie or Flash and do a Venom story because that's why Venom was left over. So quite obviously they have a few things that they can do here. So in conclusion, because I could keep going for another 20 minutes, what will Spider-Man 4 be about? Well, it can be pretty much about anything because they have a clean slate. They can do it all over again. And again, it's got to be more personal in my opinion. That's the only thing that I can really gauge from this, and that's the only thing I want. A smaller scale Spider-Man story about your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.